In this assignment, we're going to calculate the different ways of getting paid that we've already looked at, but this time we're going to do it using a spreadsheet. So the first thing I want you to notice is that this spreadsheet has 4 pages at the bottom. We have one for salary, one for piecework, one for hourly rate and overtime, and one for commission and step commission as well. I'm going to go back to the salary one, and I'm going to remind you that basically I've typed in a whole bunch of words to kind of represent what each of the cells is. And then I've typed in numbers and formulas. So any of the numbers I've typed in are going to be highlighted blue, and any of the formulas that I'm typing in are going to be highlighted in orange. I'm going to go through just a couple examples here, and then you're going to go try this on your own. Now your spreadsheet, when you download it or make a copy of it, is going to look exactly like this one, exactly like mine. The only difference is all of the orange cells, all of the ones where you enter in formulas, are going to be blank. Your job is to fill in the correct formulas so that you get the same numbers I'm getting here, and I'll provide you with a document, a PDF, that shows you what numbers you should be getting. And then once you've gotten all your formulas correct, I'm going to tell you which blue numbers to use, which numbers to change, so that you can actually tell me what all the correct answers are for those values. So as an example, um, here we've got our salary. So we're going to start off with the annual pay. Your annual salary is $30,000. So that's the number I'm putting in. And then for the monthly pay and the weekly pay, I'm getting it to calculate it for me. So in this particular cell, I've typed in equals to represent a formula, C3, which is the 30,000, divided by 12. So that's how you calculate pay, monthly pay. If you know annual pay, is just take the annual pay and divide it by 12. Now I'm just doing it with cell references and formulas. Likewise, the weekly pay is just going to be C3, which again is the 30,000, divided by 52. And then over at the side here, I've got other versions of it where if you start with your monthly pay, you can figure out your annual and weekly, and you have equations to do that. Or you can start off with your weekly pay and find your annual or monthly pay. So these are all things that you know how to calculate already, things that we've already done. Now you're just getting the spreadsheet to do it for you. Similarly with piecework, I've set up 2 columns here. One is if you know how many items you make, you can calculate your pay. And I put in my pay rate right there is $2 per item. If I make 300 items, obviously I'm going to get 2 times 300 is $600. Now I do want to emphasize here that if you just type the number 600 in there, there will be no marks available for you. You have to actually type in the formula that gives it. Now the formula is pretty simple. It's just this value times this value. So that's what you'll type into the orange box. Over here, we're going to do the same thing, but backwards. Here, if I know how much pay I want, I can calculate the number of items made, and that's just going backwards. My desired pay is $500. So if I want to know how many items to make, I just do my desired pay divided by my pay per item, and it tells me how many items I'm going to get. Now, I should point out that I've set this up so that it will round off to a whole number. You can change that if you'd like. Oops, let me highlight that cell first. You can change it to be as many decimal places as you'd like, but I've by default set it up to be just a whole number. Moving on to the hourly rate. You put your hourly rate up here. If you don't have overtime, so basically you're working 44 hours or less, just type in the number of hours worked there and then have the computer calculate your pay based on hourly pay times number of hours worked. If, however, you do have overtime, so you're working more than 44 hours, you type in the number of hours worked here. This number I've typed in already. You don't have to type it in or change it. It's always going to be the same. It's 44 hours. That's how many regular hours of pay you'd get. And then you calculate the number of overtime hours, which is just going to be 50 minus 44, or more specifically, E6 minus E7. So for instance, if I worked 51 hours, you'll notice it changes my overtime hours to 7 hours instead of 6. From there, you can calculate your regular pay, which is just your number of regular hours worked times 44. And you can calculate your overtime pay, which is number of overtime hours worked times your hourly rate times 1.5. And then your total pay is just the sum of those two numbers. And then finally, the commission one, which looks more confusing than the others. It's just longer. I've set it up so that we can do step one, or one step, two step, and three step commission. So one step commission is just there's one commission rate for all your sales. So you type in your sales and the percent commission you get, and it will calculate your rate based on that times that. If you have two-step sales, this would be a question like, for instance, you sell $50,000 worth of stuff and you make 10% rate or 10% commission on the first 40,000 and then 15% on everything after that. So what this will do is it'll say, if you're only going up to $40,000 on step one, then it will calculate how much is left over for step two, and it will let you plug in your interest or your commission rates for both step one and step two, calculate your pay for each step, and then add them together to find total pay. Similarly, three-step would be a question like this one where it says you sell $100,000 in sales. You get 6% commission on the first 50,000, 8% on the next 30,000, and that should be $1. Let's change that to dollars right now. 8% of the next 30,000, and then 10% of anything over that. So this will calculate the amount that you have left of your 100,000 after you've taken out the 50 and the 30,000. Then it will calculate your sales for each step. And then you use this one here, the total pay, to just add up the three steps. Now we're not going to worry about four-step or higher commission because it has to be manually done, and very seldom will you ever see that anyway. Okay, so that's what you're going to do in the assignment. You're going to download a copy of this spreadsheet that looks just like this, except all the orange spots are blank. You're going to fill out all the formulas. You're going to verify that the formulas are giving you the answers you're expecting to get. And then you're going to change the blue numbers and see what the new answers will be. If you have questions, please ask, especially if you're not getting the formulas to work out. The point of this isn't to see what you already know, it's to teach you how to do it. So if you're not sure how to do it, ask and we'll fix that so that you do know how to do it. Okay, I think that's it for the video. So you can now move on to the assignment. Again, make a copy of this spreadsheet. There'll be a link below the video. And then from there, double check your formulas, solve your new stuff. Good luck.